federal response ramped up, but also, just trying to figure out a way for the federal, state, and local governments to all kind of get on the same page. We're all just trying to save people's lives. I mean, that's really where we are at this point. We're not, well, what did we do wrong yesterday, but what can we do today and tomorrow to try to do a better job?
Let me ask you this coordination question, and then I want to ask you about the sort of decisions you're making there. You talked about the National Governors Association. Is there a daily call? Is there a call that the governors are all on every day, and who is engineering that? Like, what is that? Because right now you've got this situation where it's almost like a time traveling situation, right? Andrew Cuomo can talk to folks back in Minnesota or Michigan and say, look, we're 2 weeks ahead of you. Here's what we need. There's communication that can happen there.
No, it's one of the few things that's working really well. So I'm the chairman of the National Governors. Governor Cuomo is the vice chairman. We've had ongoing discussions with all of America's governors, really in some cases more than 50 governors. We have 55, including the territories. We typically have nearly all of them on the calls. We had another one this afternoon. We have another one tomorrow with the president and vice president leaders in the administration. They're not on all of the calls. We have some with just the governors. And in addition to those formal ongoing discussions where there really is great cooperation and sharing of information and ideas between the states, and quite frankly, it's been tremendous to see the bipartisan cooperation among the governors. We're also having lots of one-on-one discussions and phone calls and texts back and forth. I've been talking with dozens of my colleagues across the country on both sides of the aisle about here's what's happening in our state. How are you dealing with this? What problems are you faced with? How are we going to fix this? And so it's a problem. We're all in this together, and it's amazing. But there's not a whole lot of Republican Democrat stuff going on. It's about, hey, what can we do to help one another?
The president seems obviously anxious to sort of reopen the country. He's reiterated that. He talked about an Easter possibility. Today he tweeted and basically said that it was the media that was the dominant force trying to get him to close the country and close off its economy so that would hurt his reelection chances. And as a governor who has to make these decisions about what to open and what to close, like, is that how you're making your decisions?
No, not at all. So look, I think that none of that messaging is helpful at all to any of the governors. But many of my colleagues on both sides of the aisle are not happy with that kind of messaging. On Monday, they were talking about, we're getting near the end of the 15 days, so that would mean next week we're going to start opening, and then a day or two, then the next day, yesterday, they changed it to Easter, which was 2 weeks later. Not all of it is arbitrary. We're making decisions based on the facts on the ground, and by listening to the scientists and doctors in our state. I'm talking to folks at Johns Hopkins and the University of Maryland and NIH, and the bottom line is we're all ramping up, not down, and nobody sees the end of this in 2 weeks. We see it as, nobody knows the exact numbers, and as you pointed out earlier, the data is incomplete, but, we're going to make decisions based on saving lives. The economy is critically important, and we are concerned about helping people who are going to be out of work and helping those small businesses. But the decisions have to be first about saving lives, and then how are we going to help people get back on their feet economically? You can't just arbitrarily pick a date and say everything's going to be great.
All right, Governor Larry Hogan of Maryland, thank you for making some time amidst all this.
There are two ways of testing to find out, to see if you've been exposed to the novel coronavirus. The first is to test for the presence of the virus. That's generally with a swab of your nose or throat. That's the kind of test that has been so hard to come by in this country. That's a test that actually tests for the virus, for the antigen itself. The second way is to test your blood for antibodies to the virus. So if you got the virus and your body fought it off, your body made and used coronavirus antibodies in that fight. And with a relatively simple, cheap, quick blood test, doctors can tell whether you have those antibodies and therefore whether or not you've been exposed. Today, the UK said they would try to go ahead with antibody testing of the British population on a mass scale. They said they've already ordered 3.5 million antibody tests, and they're in the process of ordering millions more. The advantage to antibody testing, as I mentioned, is in part speed and ease. Compared to the kinds of tests that look for the virus itself, antibody testing is quick, relatively easy, and relatively cheap. It therefore does have the possibility of being used on a mass scale, which could be helpful. It could reveal how far the virus has spread through a particular community, and it could potentially reveal whether people who recovered from the virus might be immune to it, at least for a while. That might be very important in terms of thinking about people to relieve overworked health workers or to restart parts of the economy. Turns out the Brits are not the only ones getting ready to deploy antibody testing at large scale. A county in Colorado is going to try antibody testing, that entire county, for free. And it comes out of an unusual set of circumstances in San Miguel County, Colorado. Two biotech executives happen to own a home in the ritzy ski town of Telluride, Colorado, and they've decided to offer antibody testing to all of the roughly 8,000 residents of Telluride and the surrounding county of San Miguel for free. The county now plans on testing everyone, regardless of any symptoms or any contact with anyone who has the coronavirus. San Miguel County says they've already tested all the first responders in the county and their families. That was 645 tests. Now they're going to start testing everyone else. They're going to roll it out in phases and try to get to every single person in the county. And when you do that, when you approach it that way, when you test an entire community, you end up providing individual people with individually interesting data. People find out if they've got antibodies to the virus, but you may also see things in the data that couldn't have been apparent through any other approach. In Iceland, for example, they've tried large-scale testing in that small island nation. That, thus far, has shown not just who had the virus, so they could be isolated to stop it from spreading any further, but also the Iceland mass testing program showed that half of the people who tested positive were asymptomatic, which ends up being a very piece of information, not just about Iceland, but about this virus. I wonder what this new round of testing in this one county in Colorado will show us about it here. Joining us now is Dr. Deanna Colliker. She's Deputy Medical Officer for San Miguel County, Colorado. She is coordinating this county-wide effort for antibody testing. Dr. Colliker, thanks very much for joining us today. Let me just ask you first if I explained that right or if I got anything wrong about what you guys are doing in San Miguel County.
Hi, Rachel. You got it exactly correct. You covered all the bases, and we're super excited to be able to offer this to the members of our county.
Can you describe for us how the antibody test is administered, how long it takes to get results, how confident you are in the antibody test that you're going to be using?
Sure. The antibody test is specifically a test for IgG antibody, so the type of antibody that is produced usually about 8 to 10 days after infection. This test is a blood test, a serum test, that has a relatively short turnaround time, less than a couple of days is our plan. And as you said earlier, it really allows us to do mass testing